closer I get, imagine if I was a leopard out there in the jungle and I approached this snake and with a paw reached out to touch that tail.
Ah! Fine. Calm down, just need you to stay calm. We're gonna need the medical evac. If you guys can help me talk to Coyote, ask him normal questions. We need to keep him as calm as possible. Nice and slow. Okay. Okay, you're right in the middle. Keep this slow, okay? Keep this slow. Do a quick check.
Oh my God.
All right, just hang on there, dude. Hang on, it's gonna be fine.
Today we're filming an episode that features one of the most dangerous snakes in all of South Africa, the Mozambique spitting cobra. This reptile is primarily armed with a cytotoxic venom, and a bite becomes an immediate medical emergency. And the crew and I are going to participate in a training drill that will prepare us if the worst case scenario happens. Are you ready? Let's go. All right, time to reveal the snake. And bite! Mike, I got bit!
Coyote, freeze, back up, back up, back up. Tyrone, can you secure that snake? Hold still, okay.
Snake secured.
Snake secured, good. Mario, can you grab me that chair, please, and place it next to the pool table? Sit down. All right, let's get this shirt off real quick.
The whole shirt?
Just the side, if anything. It's fine. Calm down, just need you to stay calm. Okay, hold still.
It's gotta be that tight?
Yep, we gotta keep these things nice and tight. You're gonna see the perfect squares as they come through.
Okay.
I'm gonna pull my gloves real quick.
All
right.
Should I elevate my arm at all or anything?
Nope, keep it lower than your heart.
Okay.
All right, let's get you up nice and slow. Fingers tight.
Keep
real
them
quick.
together?
Yep.
Ow!
Let's keep this slow, okay? Keep this slow. Let's go ahead and get a move on this. We're gonna roll out, guys. Anton's already called the local hospital, and he's got the antivenom to pass into us so we can get it to the doctor as soon as possible here as well.
Oh my God.
Hey, just hang on there, dude. Hang on, it's gonna be fine. Woo!
And that is about as fast as you would need to move if that worst case scenario presents itself. If you are bitten by something like a Mozambique spitting cobra, you literally have minutes to get yourself into a vehicle and on your way to an emergency center. That was intense. Okay, now let's go film with the Mozambique spitting cobra. The KwaZulu-Natal region of South Africa is well known for its high density of reptiles. And today, we will be getting dangerously close with the Mozambique spitting cobra. This is one of the world's most advanced venomous snakes, and they are capable of doing this. Accurately spitting potent venom from a pair of modified front fangs. This venom is used as a defense, often aimed at the eyes of a would-be attacker, which in turn would give the snake a chance to escape the imposing threat. Assisting with this extreme experiment is reptile specialist Tyrone Ping. He's here to help safely wrangle the snake if things get out of control. I'm sure we are all curious to see how accurate the aim of this snake really is. And the only way to find out is to let one of these deadly reptiles spit directly at my face. All right, we are set. The Mozambique spitting cobra is right here underneath this blue bucket. Now, a lot of this might happen really quickly. These reptiles are incredibly accurate with their spitting ability. Let's see if we can catch it in slow motion. All right, here we go. I'm gonna get into position here. Woo! Definitely a little nerve-wracking. All right, Tyrone, when you're ready, let's peel back the bucket and see what happens. I'm right here, buddy. Okay, staying calm at the moment. Oh, jeez. I'm right here. I'm right here. Look at my eyes. Look at my eyes, Cobra. Oh, wow. Full shot straight into my face. Holy cow. Did you guys see that? Look at the shield is completely coated. What's unique about this cobra is you'd think they would have to be completely reared up and hooding to be able to spit, but they can actually spit from that lower angle, and that's one way that they easily trick any invading predator. Think, all right, I'm gonna be able to get in there and get my food, but then, the cobra does that, just like that with the face. And that accuracy is unbelievable. All I have to do is move in close, and look at that, how quick that is. And that's a little bit less of a stream than I thought, but it seems just like a bunch of mist as you're driving through, let's say, a car wash and it's like all over. All right, going in for another spritz. The Mozambique spitting cobra is actually one of the smaller cobra species here in South Africa. But this highly evolved defensive ability of this snake specifically is what makes it so unique. And if it is able to blind anything that's potentially attacking it, that of course gives it the chance to quickly make an escape. Look at the precision. All I need to do is move very slowly back and forth, and that snake does not lose its focus on where my hand is at, and specifically where my eyes are located. Let's go for one more even closer. Yeah, it's about as close as you probably want to get to a spitting cobra right there. Every single time, it makes you jolt, even though I feel completely protected behind this shield. It never gets any less nerve-wracking to be that close. Now, one of the things that's the most interesting about the fang design of this cobra species is that it has evolved over millions of years, and they have fixed front fangs. And in most instances where there's a little hole in the tip of the fang, this has a modified fang where the hole is actually in the front, and it is specialized muscles inside of the skull that allow it to spit. The closer I get, imagine if I was a leopard out there in the jungle and I approached this snake and with a paw reached out to touch that tail. You get that reaction, oh, and there you have it. A full face full of very painful venom. Now that venom is not used in any instance for the snake to catch and kill its prey. It's only a defense mechanism. But the venom that comes from the bite specifically has neurotoxic and cytotoxic properties. This is an incredibly potent bite. And if I was bitten, it would be an immediate medical emergency, and anti-venom would definitely need to be administered if we were to save my life. But the spitting aspects, like you saw just there, will not kill you if it just gets into your eye. Wow, that was 2 double squirts right in a row. Whew. Doesn't get much crazier than that. One of the coolest and most famous influences in relation to the spitting cobra is, of course, the Dilophosaurus from Jurassic Park. And the filmmakers took the influence of this animal's ability to design the Dilophosaurus, not only in the neck frills, but also in that ability to spit venom. And right now, I definitely feel like Dennis Nedry, when it comes to getting shot in the face with toxic venom. You can see the snake is just completely locked in at the moment. And that accuracy is impressive. Venomous snakes don't want to use their toxic powers on humans. But if you make the foolish choice to harass or interact with them, the consequences can easily put you in the hospital, or in a worst case result, 6 feet underground.
So at this point, we are going to get the shield off of me because I certainly don't want to keep walking around with all the ability to accidentally wipe my fingers on that, get anything in my eyes, or in a worst case scenario, somehow get it on Trent. You guys, you have to understand, I've never seen Trent as nervous as I was when that cobra got spit all over his camera. And I don't know if that's because Trent is afraid for his own well-being or the camera's well-being, but safety first, so we got to make sure that we get everything cleaned up as best we possibly can.
You know what I'm going to say next. But just in case you didn't pay close attention to our 25 previous snake episodes, always admire these slithering reptiles from a respectful distance. Sharp rays of sunlight crept up from the horizon, casting a golden radiance across the savanna. Morning has arrived in South Africa, and with it, the beginning of a journey that was soon to become one of the greatest animal encounters I have ever had. Today we are venturing out into the world-renowned Kariga Game Reserve. This wild place spans over 10,000 hectares, and the landscape is a splendor unlike anything you have ever seen. Endless rolling grasslands, the perfect habitat to safely house and keep hidden one of our planet's most iconic predators, the African lion.
All right, Coyote, about ready to hop in the Jeep?
Yeah, well, the plan today is to track down a pride of lions, but trust me, it's much easier said than done. We've got a lot of ground to cover. You guys ready to track down the pride?
Let's find those big cats.
Here we go.
Tracking lions on foot could take days, if not weeks. So the crew and I teamed up with a secondary team composed of field veterinarians that had been deployed through support of the Reserve Protection Agency. Led by Dr. Waldo Dreyer, their collective goal from a scientific perspective was to safely tranquilize one of the larger resident males in an attempt to collect biometric data. This important research would help ensure the health and well-being of the pride. So with the plan in place, we parted ways and headed toward opposite ends of the reserve to begin our search for the pride.
I feel like luck is on our side today. A lot of ground to explore, but we've got 2 teams out. Just a matter of tracking down the pride.
Since 2004, Corica has been home to a very healthy population of lions. Yet finding and getting these big cats in front of the cameras would be no easy feat, as they are constantly on the move and in search of their next meal.
Got ostrich way off in the distance there. So much open space. And with that open space, the pride could wander out of any one of these clumps of bushes. Really gonna be tough to find these cats. Got some zebras over here. That looks like good prey. As a lion, zebra steak would sound pretty good. Wait, what's this? Oh, I got something cool. Follow me. Look at this. That is a perfect wildebeest skull. And if ever I have seen evidence of a lion kill, this would be it. Look at that. Right at the back of the neck, where the head connects to the neck right there is all snapped off. Wow, well, this is obviously ancient at this point. No skin or flesh on it, but yep, likely fell victim to a lion. All right, guys, let's keep searching. That is
Bones.
bones, skin, fur. That's a zebra's leg right there. And zebra's legs don't just fall off on their own. That is absolute crystal clear evidence of a lion kill. It's old though. This is not fresh. So we do know that the pride has been through here, but not recently. All right, well, this is, like I said, gonna be tough to find this pride of lions.
Stronger evidence of the pride and their whereabouts was necessary if we hoped to have an encounter. So we loaded back into the Land Cruiser and continued our search deeper into the interior of the reserve. Finding tracks is the most reliable sign in one's quest for locating an animal, and you are always guaranteed to find the freshest tracks near water.
Check this out, guys. Completely fresh lion track right there. Like most cats, they try to avoid walking in the water. And the cat definitely moved up the side of the road here. That means we are hot on the pride's trail.
So Joe, what'd you hear?
There's literally lions on top of this hill.
So the other team's got eyes on the lions?
Yeah, and they're on a kill. So,
Really?
Yeah.
Coyote! Coyote, the other team's got the lions over the hill.
What?
Yeah, the lions are just over the hill and they're on a kill too.
On a kill?
Yep.
No way! Okay, yeah, hop up in the Jeep. Oh man, this is gonna be crazy. They're on a kill?
Yeah.
All right, guys, well, I'm out there picking up pieces of old kills, and apparently the lions have a kill. The other team has spotted them. We're gonna make our way over there now. Here comes the lion episode. Awesome!
With lions located on a fresh kill, we quickly moved across the reserve to meet up with a vet team. Dr. Waldo joined our vehicle, which would give us a clear view of the tranquilization process. So with the darts locked and loaded, it was go time.
This is exciting. I've never seen a lion in the wild before. I know you guys are amped. Oh man, this is gonna be one epic day.
Tranquilizing a lion is considered a routine checkup. Once asleep, the biometric data will be collected, and then a reversal serum will be administered for the animal to wake up.
Okay, they just radioed from up ahead. The lions are just up over the top of this next hill here. We have found them.
All
right, guys, we are rolling up on the lions right now. I can actually see one of the big males right here off the side of the vehicle. Wow, so impressive. We're trying to be really quiet right now. We don't want to startle them. Believe it or not, we don't want to scare the lions. I'm the one that should be scared right now. Oh, there it is, there it is.
As our land cruiser approached through the flowing savanna grasses, my heart began to race at an incredible speed. This was an unprecedented level of danger, which meant everything had to go right, because if it didn't, that meant everything had gone horribly wrong. Never before had I seen a pride of lions in the wild. And as they came into view, their primal strength and beauty was a wonder to behold. In total, 4 lions have been spotted on the fallen carcass. Our primary target was the male, but the team decided that they also wanted to check the health of the females. So if the opportunity presented itself, they would be darted as well. And in that split second that seemed to slow down in time, we all clung to the edge of our seats with focused anticipation.
Oh, got one. Nice shot. Wow, you see him spring into action like that? Okay, we thought that maybe the lions would move up, but we darted one. We've got 4 lions, 3 females, and a young male. It's a young male, right? Yep. Wow, still an enormous cat. For the second dart. Here we go, we got the male coming up around the backside here. Right at the upper forefront of her chest. Go. No, not yet. Okay, the male's coming around the front. The females almost have a clear shot. Super windy though, it could throw out the dart. Do not want to hit the animal in the face. Here comes the shot. Got him! All right, the male has been darted. 1 lion left. Wow, okay, we have 3 of the lions darted at this point. Male and 2 females. 1 female still does not have a dart in her though, so we're trying to move the vehicle to get in a better position. This is intense. Hold on, guys. Be aware you got a lion. Here we go, look at this, good shot. Zoom in. Got it. All lions have been darted, and they are all staring at us now saying, okay, what are you guys doing out here? That's intimidating.
All 4 lions darted.
With all 4 cats successfully darted, we watched from a safe distance as one by one, they succumbed to the effects of the tranquilizer serum. All right, now it's just gonna take a few minutes for the tranquilizer to set in. It'll tell us to get out of the vehicles, we'll move in, get that biometric data.
Yeah, the males.
Wow, my heart's racing right now, how about you? This is crazy. Time was of the essence, so the vet team needed to move quickly. This meant that as a camera team, we would have a very limited window of time to capture an up-close presentation with these sleeping carnivores. Given his iconic stature, I was beyond excited to showcase the male, while in the background, the veterinarians would be collecting the sought-after biometric data from the females. In human terms, this procedure is comparable to a checkup at the doctor. When it comes to lions, this includes pulling a small hair sample from the tail, checking body length, paw length, overall health, and lastly, microchip identification. is a big cat right there. Look at that. Got this other female down right here.
And there's just lions laying around everywhere.
You have lions everywhere. Keep in mind, guys, these lions are just asleep. None of these animals are actually hurt. Here it is. Here's the male. That is unbelievable right there. This is the closest I have ever been to a wild apex predator of this size. Oh, you can feel it breathing. Oh, beautiful animal. How this creature is enormous, and it is still a sub-adult male lion. I want to come on this side just to show you this paw. You've got the mane. You can see its face is covered up there. It is asleep. Look at the size of this animal's paws. It is bigger than my hand. That is crazy. And so heavy, so much weight and so much muscle in the front section of this cat. You guys want to see those claws, don't you?
Oh yeah.
Ready for this? Hold on, let me kind of sit down here. Get ready. That is impressive right there. And these claws are constantly growing throughout the course of the animal's life. Now, like all cats, they have 4 toes up front, but also a dew claw on the side. You see that?
Wow.
That is the key piece of power right there, because when they lunge toward a water buffalo or a wildebeest and they latch on, it's this claw that hooks in place and makes sure that that prey does not get away. And that's what they do, latch on and then go for the neck. Now the lion, believe it or not, does not have that powerful of a bite force as compared to other big cats. Only somewhere between 600 and 900 pounds per square inch. But what they want to do is go for the trachea. You get the trachea, you're cutting off the windpipe, and that animal's gonna suffocate. Now, the males, while they can hunt, aren't the ones that are actually hunting. So while when we came up on this pride, you see that they've taken down an impala, it's likely the females that killed the impala, but then the males will come in and they will feast first. Wow, this cat is just the coolest creature I have ever been around. Let's take a look at its head real quick. Look at the size of the ears, massive ears. They're capable of moving these individually. They have incredible sense of hearing. Look at the mane of this animal. It's so dense, and oh, it smells like South Africa. It smells like the savannah, a little bit of grass and a little bit of sand. Now, you look at this mane and you think, well, what is the purpose of a mane on a lion other than to have an epic hairdo? And the purpose is actually to protect them when they're fighting to protect territory. All this dense fur, when another male is rearing up using its claws and its teeth, protects this lion's throat and its face. All right, you guys ready for the reveal?
Let's see it.
Okay, I'm gonna pull this back very slowly. Let's see the lion's face. There you are, buddy. Oh my gosh, that is incredible. What a handsome animal right there. Look at its whiskers, incredibly dense. I know you guys are thinking right now, can we see the lion's teeth? Yeah, we can see the lion's teeth. You guys ready?
Yep.
I'm gonna slowly just kind of pull the lip back here a little bit. Wow.
Whoa.
Look at those canines.
Holy smokes.
Unbelievable. Now, lions have 3 types of teeth. Up front here, you have these incisors, which are used to carry things. The females will carry their cubs around. They're also used to pull meat away from the bones. Of course, the canines are used to inflict a kill. And then in the back here, go ahead and zoom in, you see that? All these premolars are used like serrated shears to saw through the meat. And I can see the lion's tongue in there. It's incredibly grippy, like sandpaper. They can actually use that tongue to lick meat away from bones. They can lick fur off, and believe it or not, if a lion were to lick your skin, it would take the skin right off. Not exactly like your house cat. Wow. Hi, buddy. Let's see, I'm just gonna kind of take a look at his eye there. See if we can zoom in there. See, the pupils are slightly dilated. It's completely out right now. See that? Get a tight shot there. The lions have incredible eyesight, not only during the day, but also at night.
Look how big its head is compared to you.
Massive.
It's as big as your body.
Can you imagine what it would be like to get an appendage of your body or your head stuck in the mouth of an animal like this? And keep in mind, guys, this is still a sub-adult. They get bigger than this. I'm guessing this lion's probably somewhere between 250 and 300 pounds. They can tip the scales well over 500.
Okay, I'm gonna just flip this back up over its head so that the sun stays out of his eyes. Oh man, is your adrenaline rushing as fast as mine is?
I'm just trying to stay calm, actually.
Okay, we ready to collect biometric data? All right, let's do it. Got to get the measurements on this lion.
Okay, I'm gonna go all the way to the back side here.
Okay.
So we've got 123.5.
Okay.
What do you have there?
54.
Okay. Lift
Paw measurements.
6.
And this is important data for us to know.
8.
Exactly the size of this lion's paws, so if they're out there
And 5.
looking for tracks, you'd know exactly which lion this is.
You see all these kind of markings on the face. Also over time will help you identify the individuals. It's got quite a striking one right here.
Yeah.
So as well as the guy up, I think he's there already too.
All right, guys, what's really cool is that this lion doesn't actually have a microchip in it. So we are gonna get to insert one today, and that will allow us to keep a tight record of this animal anytime that they then tranquilize in the future to be able to collect its biometric data. Wow, cool. All right, so where do you insert the microchip?
Yeah, so the microchip's got a nice thick needle. It's about the size of a grain of rice. So
I don't like needles. I don't do very well with needles.
So we insert it right in the middle between the shoulder blades.
Okay.
So we just make a little tint of the skin.
Okay.
Put it underneath the skin.
Ooh, just a little prick, right?
It goes.
Boom, just like that. Wow. All right, guys, well, it's time to apply the reversal drug so that this male wakes up and heads back off into the wild. But this certainly was epic. Getting to explore here at the Cricket Game Reserve, tranquilizing 4 lions, and getting up close to collect biometric data. All right, time to wake up.
Yeah, just keep it in the muscle and push the plunger back a bit as soon as you're in with the needle. It's like,
All right, guys, lion's about to wake up. Let's head back to the trucks. Woo. Man,
That was amazing.
woo. That was cool. That was cool.
All right, Cody, what's happening right now?
We have administered the reversal drug, and now we are just safely back in the vehicle waiting for the lions to wake up. I've got a GoPro positioned just in front of this female. We've got zoom lenses in on the male. The ones up here underneath the bush, we're gonna also keep an eye on them, and in just a few minutes here, they're gonna pop back up and disappear into the underbrush.
All right. I think this is it.
You can see the lions are beginning to wake up. This lioness right here in front of us is starting to move. It's been about 15 minutes. Sounds about right. Since the dawn of mankind, we have feared that which is capable of hunting us. So much so that we in turn chose to hunt many of these natural predators to the brink of extinction. The lion is no exception. Today our mindset has changed, and fear has been replaced with love and protection for these incredible beasts. Several hours after the vet procedure had concluded, we returned to the hilltop and checked in on the pride. Our hope was that they would still be in the area, allowing us to get a final glimpse of these beautiful cats. Then suddenly, in what seemed like a moment slowed in time, the king of the savannah materialized from the underbrush. He stepped into the golden glow of the setting sun and moved with an elegance that defined him as the ruler of this land. And as we watched, our cameras all fighting to capture the moments as they played out before us, it was not difficult to pull my eye away from the viewfinder so that I could appreciate all of the beauty in this animal
with my own 2 eyes. I know that I will never forget my time spent alongside that sleeping giant, my fingers placed upon its massive teeth, the moment it woke back from its slumber, and the sight as it strolled along through the flowing grasses, staking claim as king of the savannah. For the various non-predatory animals that call the South African savannah home, survival is no walk in the park. Roaming giants, such as the elephant, depend on their massive size and intimidating presence to keep out of the predator's sights, while smaller hoofstock like the impala depend on their speed and cunning agility to escape the jaws and claws of doom. Yet size and speed are no guarantee that you will survive, as this wild place is a constant circle of life where every single day there's a good chance that you or someone you know will be hunted. Survival sounds Today we are visiting the Karaga Game Park, an easily accessible and secure stretch of wilderness located in the Eastern Cape that is home to a variety of African icons, but most notably, the cheetah. These beautiful cats, despite their calm demeanor, are considered to be perfect predators, and their lethal attack comes with a combination of stealth and speed. Since childhood, I have adored cheetahs, so much so that I even dressed up as one for Halloween. See those distinct eye stripes? My field marks were on point. As an adult, getting up close with one of these speedy cats for the Brave Wilderness channel has always been a top priority. So today, I'm going to be given the chance to work alongside Terry, a cheetah conservationist. And with her help, I'm going to have an incredibly special encounter with Monty.
All right, Coyote, you ready?
I don't know if you can ever be ready to enter an enclosure with a cat. Now, I've palled around with a bobcat, and also you guys have certainly seen the ocelot episode, but today's the first time we're getting to work with an official big cat, the smallest of the big cats, the cheetah. And I have loved cheetahs ever since I was a little kid, and this is the first time I'm ever gonna get to interact with one. So I'm a little nervous. Hopefully it will acclimate to me quickly and we'll have a good interaction. But the cameras are fired up and ready to go, and I see Terry signaling that it is time to enter the cheetah enclosure. You guys ready for this?
Let's do it.
Here we go. Gosh, listen to that purring. Wow. Look at you. Full grown, right?
He's fully grown.
Monty is full grown. Now, can I approach Monty?
You can approach him.
Okay.
Just come directly to him.
This is my first interaction with a cheetah. Hi, buddy. This is either gonna go really well or really bad. Let's see. Hi. How are you? Oh, my gosh. Gosh, can you hear that purring? I'm sure the camera can pick it up. Look at his whole throat is vibrating. All right, well, do you think that we can bring Monty down here into the open and see if he'll come up on that log for us? Oh, nervous. This is so cool.
Come on.
All right.
Come on, Tika.
Wow.
Come on, Tika.
I'll tell you this much. You get that close to a cat, once you enter through the fence and you're on this side with it, my heart's racing right now. It's very intimidating. And keep in mind, like I said, this is the smallest of the big cats. And still, look how large this animal is. A perfectly designed predator. We'll get into more of that in a second, but let's transition Monty over here out into the open. We're inside of his enclosure right now. This is his domain. Right now, Mario is about to make contact. Look at this. The real goal in this moment is just for Monty to get acclimated to myself, to Mark, to Mario, to realize there's cameras inside of his enclosure. Here he comes. Hi, Monty. The thing that's so cool about this cat is the length of its legs. Perfectly designed predator and designed for speed. That's the first thing I really want to take a look at. And as we know, cheetahs are the fastest land predator. Look at the size of the paws. Big paws. Just go pet those paws.
Look at that. And the claws don't fully retract. Now they use those claws like cleats, and that will actually help the cheetah to gain traction as it springs into action after anything that it's going to try to catch.
So is this at all intimidating to you, Coyote?
Yeah, you know, it's tough to get completely comfortable next to a cat of this size, but as long as Monty is purring like that, Terry tells me that he is content and feeling really good. And I saw Terry doing this, scratching the sides of his head. Oh, okay, maybe not yet. All right, Monty's heading this direction over into the shade. Let's follow him.
So Coyote, what does the coat feel like?
It is very dense. The fur up on top of the head is bristly, and on its haunches, it kind of feels like the fur of a buffalo, and then it's much more sleek running down the side of the animal. You can see how streamlined this creature is. Obviously, perfectly designed for speed. Cheetah speed.
Oh, just flicked you with the tail.
I got whacked with the tail there. Monty, can I analyze your tail real quick? Let's see what happens.
Oh,
Whoa, look at that.
sure can. There you go.
Man, that is a long tail right there. Rather heavy too. I like how Monty decides that once we try to get a shot, he's gonna flop over on this side. So it gives you, which is actually kind of cool and what we want to look at, some of the design of Monty's coat. Cheetahs are so iconic for their spots, which allow them to perfectly camouflage in all of the tall grasses. So it's a mix of light and shadow that allows them to hide as they're stalking their prey. Boy, buddy, I know. Look at these little ears. They have great sense of hearing, great eyesight. Now, it's a diurnal species. They primarily hunt during the day. And if you take a good look at Monty's eyes there, look at how big they are. They have incredible vision that allows them to see prey from extensive distances, and then they can slowly stalk in and prepare to ambush an attack.
So Coyote, is a cheetah similar to a lion where it's in a pride, or is it like a tiger where it's a solo animal?
Oh, it's a great question. What most people don't realize is that cheetahs, females specifically, are mostly solitary unless they have cubs. But when it comes to males, a group of cheetahs is called a coalition. So oftentimes you'll see 2 or 3 brothers hanging out together. But the females, primarily solitary unless it's during breeding season or if they have cubs. It is almost time for lunch, and what's really cool is that Terry's gonna allow us to stay inside the enclosure while Monty has his lunch. You guys wanna get some cool shots of that?
Do we get lunch after?
If you like horse meat, then yes, you can also have some lunch.
I was thinking like a sandwich.
A sandwich is probably a better idea, huh?
All right, let's go watch Monty eat.
Let's feed Monty. Out of all the animals that we have featured on this channel eating, I think this is probably gonna be the largest predator. This is the real deal right here. That is awesome. And just like all big cats, they chew from the side. They actually use their large canine teeth to inflict the kill. It's almost like scissors, the way that they have to cut the meat apart into chunks and then swallow it down whole. Whoa. Wow, the sound of those jaws just crushing through that meat's incredible.
So you can never do this with a wild cat.
No, you would never get this close to a cheetah in the wild, regardless. But, you know, Monty is so used to being around humans, it's okay for me to be this close to him while he's eating. Now, when cheetahs are out in the wild and they get a kill, they will oftentimes eat as much as they can. They have a lot of competition out there in the grasslands. Hyenas will come in and steal away their food. Lions will chase them off the kill. So once you get something to eat, you take advantage of that moment and chomp down as much as you can.
And after this, Monty's probably gonna what, take a nap?
Take a nap and then a meaty poop, I would guess. Hi, buddy. Yeah, you're such a good cat. Seems pretty comfortable with me at this point.
Coyote, you're really close to a cheetah.
That's really close to a cheetah right there. Real close to the kill zone, too. I think Monty is pretty comfortable with us, though, at this point. Well, that was pretty cool, getting face to face with the speediest cat here in South Africa, the one and only Cheetah. The Karaga Kama Game Park is home to a wonderful cheetah conservation program, and it's animal ambassadors like Monty that are helping to educate the public about these cats and the importance of preserving their futures. When I look back on my time spent working alongside Monty, it's hard to describe in words what it feels like to make contact with a cheetah. Here is this animal that I loved as a kid and am now face to face with as an adult. It was truly a dream come full circle that took me over 30 years to accomplish. And in those final moments, as I said my goodbyes to Monty, I felt my inner child smile
knowing that cheetahs are just as perfect in real life as they always had been in my dreams. When you think of South Africa, your mind likely pictures vast rolling grasslands, classic savanna, strewn generously with herding hoofstock and stalking predators. Yet much to my surprise, several wilderness stretches throughout the Eastern Cape are also blanketed with impressive mountain ranges. Today we are exploring a private stretch of land in the Bevian-Skloof Wilderness. Managed by the Reserve Protection Agency, this 25,000-acre sanctuary is the perfect place to explore for animals and has gone virtually untouched by man for over a century.
All right. What's going on, Coyote?
Some serious off-roading here in South Africa. On our way today out to look for reptiles under the heat of the sun. Good chance of finding lizards and diurnal snakes. Stay tuned, we'll see what happens. Hang on, guys. Woo! Slow down, Mario. This guy's a madman when he's driving.
Aside from the miles of rock-strewn roads that intricately lace this land like a network of adventure-pumping veins, we may as well have been the first humans to ever step foot in this wild place. Eventually, the roads do come to an end, and the only way to traverse deeper into the unknown is to trust one's own feet to lead the way. So we abandoned our vehicle and set off to see what we could find. The mid-morning sun quickly brings an incredible heat to the surrounding environment, making it nearly impossible to function if you are a human.
I'll tell you guys this much. The South African sun will literally cook you alive. It has to be well over 100 degrees out here right now. There's no sign of animals anywhere. I think our best bet at this point is to start looking in the shade. Say what, that's where this animal wants to be. Woo!
Reptiles typically thrive under these conditions, activating off of the sun's powerful rays. Yet much to our sweaty dismay, the sun was already so intense that I knew our best chances of encountering scaly beasts would likely happen if I gently flipped over flat rocks. These safe havens provided a much-needed relief from the blistering rays and also served as an ideal hiding spot from potential predators. Rock after rock I flipped, until finally, I flipped a winner.
Here's a nice flat one. Snake, right there. Wow, look at that. It's a puff adder.
Are you sure?
Oh yeah, 100%. And look at that cryptic patterning, perfectly blended into the environment. Almost looks like spider webbing across its back. Wow. Now, despite the fact that this is a very small snake, they get a lot bigger than this, it is still incredibly dangerous. All right, it's gonna be hard to balance him on the end of the snake stick and get him up into the shade. So what I'm gonna do is actually place him inside of my hat. Whoop, there we go.
Nice.
Look at that. All right, come on up here into the shade. We wanna keep him out of the sun. Look at this little snake. You tilt my hat down there. He's totally comfortable inside of the basin of my hat. Now, no, there's no magic trick where I put the hat back on top of my head and pull out a dangerous viper. But what I wanna do is, actually, this is a perfect rock right here. Check that out, nice and light in coloration. Let me see if I can get this snake to just coil up on this rock so we can get it up close for the cameras. All right, here you go, little buddy. There we go. Ooh. I'm hoping, sometimes when you just cover a snake up, it feels protected. So my hat over top of it will hopefully form it into a little tight, compact mass. And we can get some good shots of it. Yes, look at that.
You can see it puffing.
Now what I wanna do is very carefully lift up this rock. That's a risky little game right there. But as long as I keep my fingers under the rock, I will be just fine. Look at that snake. Beautiful in coloration. Now, let me use the snake stick here. Get a tight zoomed in shot of that snake's face. And you will notice that while this is a viper, it is not a pit viper. And unlike rattlesnakes, or the fer-de-lances that we've encountered in Central and South America, you will notice that it has an eye and a nostril, but no heat-sensing pit. Now, this is an ambush predator, and this is exactly what they will do. Stay curled up in a ball with that S-shaped curve to their neck.
You can see there, you see how it's puffing up its body? Right now it's saying to me, Coyote, I'm a big snake. You don't want to get any closer than this. They're very fast striking. All they need to do is lash out that head, inject venom with those fangs, and you're gonna be in a world of trouble if you're filled with that cytotoxic venom. Now, once the prey has succumbed to that venom and then they die, the snake will slowly move in and it will have a meal. And ooh, it's getting a little agitated there. You see that? Here, let me lower the rock down, take the snake away from my face. This is why they are called puff adders. Now, the puff adder is responsible for more bites than any other snake species here in South Africa, and that's because they are oftentimes found in close proximity to humans. You'll often find them in a residential area. Now, as you can see, these snakes don't have rattles, so they have no ability to warn you if you're close to them in the environment. So oftentimes people are bitten just walking through the underbrush. If this snake is curled up in a ball and it strikes out at your foot, you're wearing flip-flops or sandals, you're gonna be in a world of hurt. But this is not a reptile that you need to be afraid of. They're so perfectly camouflaged in the environment, oftentimes you'd walk right by it and never even notice that it is there. Next to the Cape Cobra, I would say that this is arguably the most dangerous snake species here in South Africa. Let me just lower it down here a little bit and notice how cryptic its patterning is. I tried to point this out right when we flipped over that rock and found it, but here on this lighter colored rock, you can see how distinct its patterning is. They do have a very strong keeled scale patterning that runs the length of their body. Look at that, black and cream, which helps them hide between the light and the shadows when they're out there just before sunset and just before sunrise hunting for their prey. And notice how girthy the body of this snake is. Oftentimes you think of snakes as being nothing more than necks and tails, and this one seems to be all body with just one itty bitty tiny tail at the end there. Super cute. And this is a small one. I mean, this is maybe only a couple of weeks old.
How big do they get?
They can be about 3.5 to 4 feet in length.
Really?
Enormous in girth. I mean, this is a very, very large bodied snake.
Like how big around?
I gently set you down there. Easily this big around.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Handful snake. Probably more wide body than any snake we have ever worked with before. Like I said, even though this is a small little neonate of a puff adder, it's still a really cool snake to be getting in front of the cameras. And no, guys, I'm not gonna actually hold this snake by its head and show you its fangs. That's far too dangerous, and this snake is very small. We wanna put as little stress on the animal as possible. Let's see if you can just zoom in there and get some really cool tight shots of its face.
You can definitely see it lacks pits.
Mm-hmm.
Golden eyes.
Beautiful. And the eyes blend right into the skin. Well, I'd say that was a pretty successful expedition, flipping over rocks all morning, and we finally come across one of the most toxic snakes here in South Africa, the puff adder.
When it comes to dangerous snakes in South Africa, the puff adder is second only to the Cape Cobra when it comes to being potentially deadly. Their cryptic nature and ambush tactics make them particularly dangerous, as they are likely to be hidden and staying completely still. So a word of advice to the adventurous. If you are hiking in the Eastern Cape region, make sure to always wear proper hiking boots and be cognizant of each and every step, because the last thing you want to do is find yourself at the end of a puff adder strike. The vast open wilderness of South Africa is home to some of the world's most iconic animals. From small hoofstock like the speedy impala, to giant grazers like the meandering elephant. Then there are the long-necked giraffes, and who could forget about the herding rhinos? These creatures are constantly doing two things on a daily basis. The first is eating, and the second, which you probably have already guessed, is pooping. But where does all this poop go? There are no toilets on the savannah to flush it down, so what happens after Dumbo drops a dump truck load of digested plants? Today we aim to answer that question by exploring the wilds of Taenskloof. Managed by the Reserve Protection Agency, this 13-hectare sanctuary just so happens to be within the range of one very unique insect that has an affinity for stinky animal byproducts.
Coyote, what you doing there?
You guys see what I'm standing in?
Yeah, it looks like feces.
This is a giant pile of poop. I'm gonna just go ahead and,
Oh, he's touching it.
you know, when in South Africa, you just roll with it. And literally today, we're gonna be looking for the thing that rolls pieces of poop, turd rollers themselves. Now, I'm guessing that this is hoof stock droppings, likely impala and kudu. And that right there, oh, is one rock solid little turd. Now, I'm not looking for kudu or impala. I'm actually looking for the insect, one stinky little insect that loves to roll around in turds. You guys know what I'm talking about?
I don't know if I want to know.
Stay tuned. I have a feeling that if we head up this direction, we're gonna find plenty of them.
Following a trail of turds through the environment is not something you would typically choose to do while out on a leisurely hike. Yet if you are aiming to have an encounter with the dung beetle, this is one of the most reliable ways to track them down. We skipped from scat pile to scat pile, examining the freshest of feces with the relentless hope of happening upon some of these poop-loving professionals.
Oh man, here's another fresh pile of nuggets. Look at this. Likely impala, it's so fresh that you can still see urine where the animal also peed. These are some serious squishers right here. Look at that. Oh yeah. Zoom in on that. You see how green that is? That is all undigestible plant matter that the animal passes through its system and then squirts out as these delicious little nuggets. Not delicious for me. No, guys, I am not going to eat a turd, but the insect we are looking for today loves eating poop. Okay, I'm gonna wipe this on Mario. There we go, buddy. And we're gonna keep walking.
The South African air was filled with fresh steamers, and that meant that those dirty little dung beetles would be hot on the turd trail. I could feel it in each and every step. Ugh, gross. And being downwind, I could smell that we were headed in the right direction. When sure enough, we rounded a corner and nearly stepped into one big steaming pile of...
Oh, beetles right here. Look at this. Oh, and look at the size of that ball. Oh man, this is great.
Is that their ball?
That is their ball right there, right in the middle of those other turds. And we've got 2 dung beetles right here in front of us. Wow, well, we've been searching for a while. It's pretty dry, but these guys have already made themselves a compacted ball. Now, look at that. He's inspecting the environment, finding his line of sight, and there you go. Off to the races. He's gonna continue to push this giant ball of compacted turds. Now, I don't want to interrupt this beetle because he's at work, but this one here is likely either a female or a stealer, and I'll get into that in a second. But what I want to do is actually pick this beetle up. Come here, buddy. Wow, look at that. Its exoskeleton is incredibly rigid, and its feet are very strong. Now, I don't know if they bite. I guess we'll find out here in a second. Let me see. Do you bite? No, doesn't bite. That's good news for me. Can you see it okay?
Oh, yeah.
Whoa, it's hard to hold on to because they're so strong. I'm just gonna let it walk around in my hands here. Now, there are over 6,000 dung beetle species worldwide, and the only continent that you will not find this insect is in Antarctica. This is the Addo dung beetle, which is indigenous to only this area here in South Africa. When we're talking about dung beetle species, there are several different types. This one specifically is what we would consider a roller. So a roller actually rolls turds around from one spot to the next. Then you also have the dwellers. Dwellers literally stay in one spot and live in a pile of turds. You also have the burrowers, which will roll a ball of poop somewhere and actually build a burrow underneath it. And then you have the stealers, which will steal turds from other dung beetles. I'm pretty sure that this one is both a roller and a stealer because I caught this guy trying to steal the turd that's actually rolling underneath your feet right now, Mark.
I thought I smelled something.
Causing a little traffic jam there, buddy.
I was like, I got a whiff of something. I was like, where did the ball go? Oh, it's right by my shoe.
And you know what? That beetle will not stop for you, Mark. He is on a determined mission to get that ball of poop back to its burrow. Now, when it comes to dung beetles, they're actually very specific as to what kind of turds they will eat. They primarily feast on herbivore and omnivore turds, but this species specifically, I'm guessing feeds on kudu and impala turds, but I know for a fact that they also feast on elephant dung. Now, there are no elephants in this area, so like I said, the kudu and the impala turds that we saw earlier are certainly fair opportunity for having a feast.
Hey Mario, is turd the scientific term we want to use?
Turd, poop, dung, feces.
Animal scat. Yes, no matter how you choose to phrase it, I like to call them turds. And these creatures, as gross as it is to say it, love to eat turds. Now, they feast on the turds. They actually will line the inside of their burrows with turds. Their whole world revolves around turds, and they prefer a fresh turd. Right now, it's pretty dry out, so we actually had some trouble finding these beetles, but we found a fresh pile of kudu scat, and sure enough, with it came some dung beetles. Super cool, right?
I got a fun little game.
Yeah.
Everybody at home should watch this video again and count how many times you say the word turd.
You know, I have said the word turd more times today, and more so in this episode than ever before. I've touched turds today. We've got beetles eating turds. We've got beetles rolling turds. It is certainly a turd sandwich of an episode. Turds, 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 or turd, 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 turds, turd, 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 turds, turd, 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 turds, turd, 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 turds. Man, my hands don't smell like anything, which is good. And I keep calling these a stinky little insect, but doesn't smell like anything. Talk to me, buddy. Do you have poop breath? No poop breath on this guy. Now, what's really fascinating about these insects is that while they may seem like simple creatures, they're simply eating poop, they're very much in tune with the environment. They're actually using UV rays from the sun to help them navigate. Now, at night, when there isn't any sun out, scientists believe that they use these stars to navigate the environment as they're aiming to push their turd ball back to their burrow. And this one that we have just here off to our side here that's just continuously pushing its turd down this trail is completely on a straight line. It will do everything it can to stay on course and make sure that that turd ball gets back to its burrow.
Speaking of the turd ball, how about we get back to the turd ball?
Yeah, let's check this out. I'm gonna bring this little beetle back over here. Watch out, Mark. The big turd ball's right here. Now, the beetle will come back and find this. I'm gonna actually pick it up for a second. Look at that. Wow, whoa. It is heavy. Look at that.
Oh, I'm gonna regret this.
That is a compacted ball of herbivore
Ooh,
poop
it's
right
kind of
there.
wet.
It's heavy, right? Well, the more moist the poop is, the better it is for the beetles. Now watch what's gonna happen. As soon as the beetle picks back up the scent of this turd, they have an incredible sense of smell. He's gonna climb back up on top of it, spin around in a circle, regain its line of sight, and then plop back down and use its hind legs to push the turd. Here we go. Just like I said, watch this. Climbs up on top. Here we go. Do your spin. Line of sight is acquired, and boom, off to the races. Now, pound for pound, this is one of the strongest insect species in the world, capable of pushing things almost 1,000 times their own body weight. That's like me weighing 150 pounds, pushing 6 8-ton buses. Isn't that crazy? That is one powerful creature. Now look, it's on this hillside and it's thinking, I'm not gonna get up that. But it will just keep moving along the edge of this ridge until it finds its way back to its burrow.
When I think back on all of the strange bugs the Brave Wilderness team and I have encountered, I would definitely have to say that the dung beetle was one of the most entertaining. These little environmental cleanup crews are doing a world of good for the ecosystem, and without them, the world would literally be covered in animal scat, or feces, or poop, or turds, as I like to call them. So on behalf of us all, I would like to say thank you to all the dung beetles out there that are helping keep our planet free of poopies. Keep up the good work, guys. We see you rolling.
Okay, so right now the convoy is headed out to the area where the rhino crash has been spotted. There's one specific male that we are targeting this morning with a very large horn.
For well over a century, humans have been decimating populations of our planet's animals. Many for reasons that make absolutely no sense. The rhinoceros is arguably the most recognizable species for this global atrocity. To date, nearly 95% of the world's rhino population has vanished, and most of it is due to one single thing. This is the fight to save a species, and our journey to the front lines of battle begins at the Karica Game Reserve. I first learned of Karica in March 2012, just after a dark shadow cast upon the reserve and left them to face an unimaginable crisis. 3 of their rhinos were tranquilized by poachers, brutally stripped of their horns, and left for dead. One animal lost its life immediately. The second passed within days, its injuries too much to endure. But the last, a female known as Tandy, miraculously survived due to the Herculean efforts of this man, Dr. William Folds.
Looking after these animals is a massive collaborative effort. No single reserve can do this alone, and we do rely enormously on the support of people around the world. Getting this message out is critically important.
In many large animal procedures, helicopters have proven to be a useful tool, as they allow veterinarians to cover a considerable amount of distance in a very short period of time. White rhinos often graze across open savanna, clustered together in a family unit commonly known as a crash. And based on human intentions, this social behavior has its pros and its cons. The positive is that rhinos are big, making them rather simple to locate from an aerial perspective. While the negative is that when they are crashed together, they become an easier target for poachers.
Now we're moving from the thicket area into this grassland space, and this is where I would expect to find white rhinos, so we're just scanning the area to see if we can find the right one.
Our mission centers around a specific male whose horns have grown to a length that makes him such a target. So in order to give his facial ornaments less black market appeal, it's been decided, and the permits granted, for us to give him a little trim.
We got eyes on the target animal.
With our bull on the run, and now clearly in sight, Dr. Folds aligns his shot.
Okay, tell me when you're good, Alex.
Yeah, I'm good.
Wow, look at him move. That dart looks good. Nice and perpendicular. We're now going to set the stopwatch. This is a really important part of the process because we want to track time from when the dart goes in.
It will be several minutes before the tranquilizer serum takes full effect, giving us a narrow but necessary window to land the chopper and move in as a ground unit.
All right, so we got ourselves into a little bit of a tricky position here because he's got his head in a bush, which we're going to have to clear up now.
A rhino procedure is best described as carefully coordinated chaos.
Just listening to his breathing, which is nice and deep, so that's good.
But at the same time, it's a masterclass of veterinary medicine. Here's how it goes down. The chainsaw masters take over, and in a matter of minutes, they intricately landscape the dense, thorny foliage.
Right now it's important for me to just be as out of the way as I can be. Chainsaws going, they're taking down all these branches. We gotta make space around the animal before we can get in and do the procedure.
Next, Dr. Folds administered a muscle relaxant, which helps to calm heart rate and lower the rhino's intense rush of adrenaline.
So it's all about keeping him relaxed and those muscles untense. From all the running, obviously he's fired up, right?
Yeah. So we need good relaxed muscles that improves blood circulation, gets the lactic acid out of there. And while he's shaking like this, he's burning up oxygen.
Shadowing the vet team, I follow precise, organized directives as we collect biometrics, inject a multivitamin, and replace the batteries on this big guy's ankle-oriented tracking collar.
Listen to the power of the breathing. Exchanging breath with a white rhino. Such a beautiful animal. You don't realize truly how big they are until you're literally right next to them. Look at the size of this animal's head.
Finally, it's time for the most important order of business, dehorning.
Do I have 2 seconds at this point to talk about the horn a little bit?
Sure.
So, here's what's gonna happen. Today we are performing a dehorning procedure. There's a couple very important things that you need to know. This horn is not ivory, this is keratin. Just like the same material your fingernails and your hair are made out of. If you look close at this horn, you can see all of these fibrous.
Oh. Let him go, pull him left, yeah, come, pull hard. It's gonna be a bit wobbly. What this means is we've got our anesthetic dose a little bit wrong, and not too serious because we're getting circulation back in his legs. We're just gonna walk him towards the trailer because that's where he needs to end up.
Well, nothing will make your heart race like a rhino getting up mid-procedure. This is one strong animal, even when it's in this state. You can only imagine how powerful this animal is at full throttle.
He should go down any minute now.
The thing I don't want to have happen is this horn to come up and hit me straight in the face.
Okay, just don't support him. If he falls over by himself, it's nice and soft here, he can't damage himself. Okay, great, perfect. We're just gonna give him a chance to settle down.
That was crazy.
Okay, we have successfully moved the rhino out into a more open area, which is perfect for this next aspect of the procedure, which is horn removal. Now, I want to be very clear about a couple of things. This is what poachers are after, this giant piece of horn. And the problem is that poachers don't come in and just saw off the piece that doesn't touch the root. They come in and they cut it out all the way down to the root. So that goes down and into the snout, causes massive bleeding. It's catastrophic damage that in almost every instance kills the rhino. So as much as I hate to take away a piece of this beautiful animal, the true thing that defines it, this is how you save a rhino. And I cannot stress enough that this does not hurt the rhino, not physically in any way whatsoever.
Nice and cool. Okay, let's do back horn. This is the procedure that we dread doing the most on rhino. It's just an absolute sacrilege to take these off.
So do you think that this throws off the rhino's depth perception at all by not having the horns in front?
I don't think so, but they know that they don't have a horn. Well, I mean, they obviously have to learn that when they wake up from all of this. We're going to walk him now.
Okay.
So we're just going to rock him onto his other side. If he stands up in the process, then great.
1, 2, 3, push! Push!
Just keep supporting him. That leg's going to be a little bit floppy.
Here he comes,
We're going to go left. He's in first gear. We're going to change to second. Keep pulling. We're going to line him up with the trailer.
With the dehorning complete, our final task is to load this bull into a trailer and relocate him to another part of the reserve.
That was unbelievably exhausting. Just the force that it takes to balance that animal. Dr. Fold said probably about 1.5 tons, and that's not a full-grown rhino.
So what we're looking for in transit there is that he's got complete control over his body. We obviously don't want him to be fighting this crate, but he must be able to move himself around and keep himself on his feet without being thrown around by the movement of the vehicle.
This new, expansive habitat is home to several first-generation cows, and it will only be a matter of time before he claims this territory, breeds, and diversifies the genetic population.
What an animal, eh?
Unbelievable.
Hey, amazing. To think he's still got growing to do too. He's not even fully grown yet. Incredible things.
The charge of emotion right now is almost hard to explain. And as I prepared for today's scene last night, I was laying in bed thinking to myself, there are a number of emotions that run through me. Sadness, first and foremost. I can't tell you how sorry I am that we had to take the horn from that beautiful animal. Yesterday we were filming B-roll with it in the wild. I mean, I looked right into this animal's eyes, thinking to myself, I'm pretty sure that's the one whose horn we're gonna take tomorrow. So I had to carry that with me going to sleep last night. So that's where the sorrow comes in. Sorry that we as humans have put our planet in a state where we're now being forced to take the prized element that defines a rhino away from it, a dominant male. This is everything that makes up his emotion, his spirit, his confidence. And within that animal's soul and body, he's gonna wake up and wonder, where did my horn go? It makes me angry to know that we as humans are doing something like this to our planet, doing something like this to our animals. And the reason these animals are being poached is because people in other countries, in Asian countries specifically, believe that the rhino horn has medicinal purposes. I can tell you with 100% certainty, it has been proven by doctors that that is absolutely false. Another thing is that wealthy people would love to have this on their mantle, but I can tell you this much, there is absolutely no honor in having the horn of a rhino on your mantle. And for as angry as I can be at the process that poachers go through, you have to understand that in many instances, the poachers themselves are almost forced into these situations. This horn is worth money. If they get this horn and sell that horn, that money provides for their family. It is a vicious cycle. So the sorrow and the anger build together, and I realized to myself, you can't fight this fight by being angry. You fight this fight with having hope.
Dehorning white rhinos is necessary because of the way that they move in herds. The next animal we're going to look at is the black rhino, a slightly more solitary animal. And what we're going to try with this next segment is to find out whether or not technology can be the answer to the future of these animals, and not taking its horn, but providing something that may be the front lines of conservation.
This horn will be immediately taken off-site to a secure, undisclosed location. And I want to note that dehorning is only one aspect of multi-dimensional wildlife protection at Carica Game Reserve. There are around 20,000 white rhinos left in the wild, which classifies these gregarious giants as near threatened. Yet they are not the only rhinoceros in Africa. The black rhino, the more elusive species, is listed as critically endangered, and its wild numbers have dwindled to barely 5,000. Visually, there are a few noticeable differences between the two. For starters, black rhinos are smaller in weight and stature as compared to whites. Taking a closer look at their heads, you will notice that white rhinos have pointed ears and a square upper lip, whereas blacks have rounded ears and a pointed, prehensile upper lip. At ground level, these key features make identifying Africa's rhinos quite simple, but from a helicopter, it's all about experience.
This is typical territory for black rhino. To find a rhino in here is incredibly difficult. We can fly for hours here and not find one.
Dense Albany thickets blanket the hillsides, creating ideal foraging and hiding habitat for black rhinos. But for Dr. Folds and the helicopter team, seeking and successfully darting our target animal is a noticeable challenge.
Coyote, come in for Mike.
Go for Mike.
Eyes on the radar, we gotta move out.
The good thing is that the hillsides aren't too steep, but we might end up on the side of a cliff doing this procedure, so things are about to get intense.
So we've identified the right animal. Just going to load a dart here quickly. So what Alex is going to do is just line up this rhino, and when she's comfortable, she'll tell me when I can take the shot.
Okay, ready?
We are good.
Good.
All right, rhino's been darted. Nice. This is all open, flat area right here. Okay, got animal down right here.
This is typical black rhino. He's got himself with the head in a bush. I'm just going to put his blindfold on, make sure we protect his eyes.
All in all, black rhino veterinary workups are very similar to our previous white rhino experience. Carefully coordinated chaos.
1, 2, 3.
Okay.
The biggest difference is that instead of taking this animal's defining feature, we'll be performing an interhornal implant procedure that disguises a GPS tracking system into the rhino's rear horn.
And you can notice how much larger the horn is on this rhino because it's never been trimmed before.
Using a Dremel, we carefully carve a cavity which provides a snug fit for the GPS.
It's amazing to hear it breathing. This is what we're fighting to protect right now. And the toe structure is quite a bit different between black rhinos and white rhinos. You see these 3 large hooves up front, how agile these animals are. Being able to move around on these steep hillsides, a lot of cushioning in the foot, so these toes can almost grip around rocks. For such a large animal, it's amazing how agile they are.
Next, a strategically colored dental epoxy is used to fuse the unit in place, keeping it camouflaged and out of the battle zone if this rhino ever squares off with another male.
You can see how non-invasive this device is on the animal. Now, once that epoxy is cured, we will grind it down slightly to blend right into the horn, put in the reversal serum. This animal will be good to go.
Right, let's go, guys. Remember, their wake-ups are different, so we need to get out of here.
Okay.
All the way.
All right, the transmitter is officially locked in place in the horn. That is what you call a successful mission right there. We put the reversal serum into the animal, and we got the drone up in the air. We'll be able to follow it as it tracks back and off into the wild. Yes! This was incredible.
Looks good. He's finding his feet very nicely. His anesthetic was smooth all the way through. Very happy about that. He didn't give us any surprises, which was good for the humans. And I'm actually very impressed with the implant. We managed to get it in there with a lot of space around it, so it's been a good procedure.
I am excited to have participated in one of the first interhornal implant procedures that has been performed on this species, and the technology linked to it will help protect this animal and its horns on a daily basis.
That's how you do 2 rhino procedures in 2 days. The white rhino dehorning, the black rhino with a piece of technology that might change the face of conservation. What an unbelievable experience.
After traveling a journey like this, you arrive at the realization that your final destination has somehow become a new perspective of the world. What happened? Where did we go so wrong that as humans, we have put a fictitious value on the horn of an animal that created a black market demand worth more than gold, diamonds, or oil? When are we going to stand up, and who is going to break the wheel that drives the game of horns? Brave Wilderness, in collaboration with Global Conservation Force and Corica Game Reserve, have a pioneering vision to help the future of Africa's rhinos. We are building a safe haven in the Eastern Cape that may become a last stronghold for the preservation of these animals if poaching is not brought to an end. What we do now does truly echo an eternity, and I can promise you, in less than 10 years, these animals will be extinct in the wild if we do not take action now. This is the truth of the rhino's plight, but you can change their future. Become a warrior and join the fight by clicking the donate button, so that together we can prevent the loss of these vanishing giants.
During South Africa's dry season, it's a rare thing for the rains to show up unannounced. Yet lo and behold, if you arrive from Ohio, the stormy spring weather has a tendency to follow. On the first leg of our journey, the crew and I lodged at the remote Tainskloof Game Reserve, a 13-hectare expanse of pristine wilderness nestled in the Eastern Cape. With heavy rains come the emergence of life, as creatures like termites take to the wing with aspirations of pioneering new colonies. From beneath the decomposing leaf fall, millipedes seem to appear in droves, and from the saturated earth crawls a slimy being that we simply had to get in front of the cameras.
Okay, you good?
Yep.
Come here, check this out. All day it has been raining, and we thought we would not get an episode, but lo and behold, a break in the clouds, and wait until you see what I found. Hopefully it's still there. Ooh, there he is, I can see him from here. Oh, he's so big. Look at this. Look, look, look. Yes! Do you know what that is?
Looks like a giant snail.
It is. It is the giant African land snail. And I have never been more happy to see a snail in my life than I am right now, because we've been dealing with rain all day. We didn't think we'd get an episode. Sure enough, there's a break in the weather. I come out, I'm looking around. Mario and I were actually filming termites coming up out of their nest. They got flooded out. I turn around, and what do I see? This giant beauty. Oh boy.
I think we may not have that long.
Yeah, we've got just a few minutes to film this episode, but what I want to do is gently pick this snail up and see if we can take a close look at its anatomy. You ready? I'm gonna try to do this really gently so that I don't scare it.
You sure you're fast enough?
Yeah, right? One speedy little mollusk.
It didn't go into its shell.
Nope, that's because I was incredibly gentle with it. It does not feel scared right now. And look at that creature. Honestly, this is the biggest snail I've ever handled. Now, similar to slugs, they have a very interesting design to their body. Now, separate from slugs, obviously they're carrying their house on their back, which you can see that shell right there. Such a cool looking shell. Go ahead and zoom in on that. Look at that unique design, almost like the stripes of a tiger. And it's got that conical shape. And it looks like it's kind of nubbed off at the end. Sometimes they are pointy at the end. Ooh, and he is just latched onto me right now. Now, most of the time you think of snails as being a creature that as soon as it's disturbed, it will suck its body into its shell to stay protected. And of course, if I was trying to eat the snail, that's what it would do. But in this instance, because I picked it up gently and placed it on my hand, it feels completely comfortable. Let's look at the face of this animal. It's got those very distinct eye stalks, and as we know, these creatures do not have good eyesight, but what they can do is sense light in the environment. Now, just underneath the front of those two little stalks. It has a scratchy radula. Ooh, and I can feel it on my finger right there. And what they do is they move that across the environment. These are like little environmental vacuum cleaners moving about, cleaning up all of the dead debris. Whether it's decomposing plants or even animal matter, it's fair game for these snails.
Man, we've been seeing their shells, but this is the first one we've actually seen.
Well, what's interesting is that when it rains, it's pretty much the only time you're gonna see a creature like this come out. Right now it is overcast and it is very wet. Look at this soil. This is mud that we are dealing with, which is the perfect time, covered in it now, for an animal like this to come out and move about.
If you were to put your hand upside down, would it stick?
Huh, good question, let's find out. Yep, look at that. Completely glued to my hand right there. Wow, and he actually has some weight to it. It probably weighs about 1/2 pound.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh man.
It's a lot heavier than you would think. And it's so cool, a mollusk like this out here in the desert terrain of South Africa. And again, the only time you're gonna see a creature like this is either at night or after a large rainstorm has moved through. Obviously, this creature's taking advantage of all the moisture in the ground and all the wet plant life that it can chomp up on. I'm so excited, my hand is shaking right now. I'm telling you guys, I've never been more excited to find a mollusk. This thing is crazy big, but believe it or not, they can get bigger than this. Their shells can grow up to 7 inches in length.
Whoa, man, that's like twice the size of that one.
Right? Talk about being a giant snail.
So Mario, it's not uncommon to have larger animals in Africa. Why is everything so big?
Yeah, he said big animal, so I was thinking like elephant, but I guess it's the environment. There's probably a lot of food and a lot of nutrients that these animals could get in order to get big.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Cool.
Now look at its skin. So bumpy, almost looks like it would be rough and rugged like the skin of a rhino, but it's actually very slimy and sticky. Mark, why don't you go ahead, put your finger in there, tell the audience what it feels like.
Oh wow, it's not rough at all.
No, slimy, isn't it?
It's not even bumpy. It's like gooey.
Like a booger. Like a big, gushy booger.
Coyote, is its shell growing or is it going to find a new shell?
No, that's a great question. The shell is actually growing with the snail and it is attached on the inside. So unlike a hermit crab per se, this creature cannot leave its shell and find a new one.
Ooh, is it leaving a slime trail on your
No,
hand?
actually that's a good question, Mario. What it is leaving is technically called a snail trail. Just a layer of goo on my hand. And that actually helps them to mark their territory and it allows other snails to sense when potential mates have gone through their environment.
I think the stripe down the back of it is so cool. It actually like looks a lot like its shell as well.
Yeah, right there.
Yeah.
And I imagine that this helps to blend it into the environment. I mean, camouflage-wise, this creature is gonna wanna stay hidden. You may be saying to yourself, so Coyote, that thing looks gross, like a big slimy booger. What would possibly be eating this? Birds, reptiles, if they could get into the shell, obviously something like, you know, a hyena, if it were to come across something like this, may
baboons?
think, ooh, baboons. I'm sure baboons would love to eat these. Anything that would be able to get to the soft insides of this creature's body would turn it into a meal, but fortunately, they are capable of sucking their bodies in and oftentimes can stay protected from predators. Now, let's take a look at the underside of the snail. I'm gonna peel it off of my hand very slowly here. Oh, that's sticky. Look at that foot. That foot is what's used for locomotion, and they just very slowly move throughout the environment. And as you can tell, these snails move very, very slowly. Such a cool primordial creature. Now, similar to slugs, most snails also have an external lung called a neostome. And I can see that on this one, but it's very hard to identify. It's right there. Mark, see if you can zoom in on that. I'm sure you're watching this episode and you're thinking to yourselves, wow, this certainly is a cool looking snail. But unfortunately, these creatures are invasive in many areas and they are detrimental to agricultural crops. They reproduce very easily, and once you have thousands of these out there, they can quickly wipe out an entire crop.
So Coyote, could you eat this snail?
Actually, that's a great question because some people do eat these snails. However, you have to cook them. If you eat one of these snails raw, they sometimes can carry a nematode inside of their gut that can actually cause meningitis.
Oh, wow.
Yep, this snail specifically can make you really, really sick if you ate it raw. So if you're out there in a survival situation, this is not something you want to pick up and just chomp down on. They have to be cooked.
So you definitely want to wash your hands if you handle one too.
Yeah, considering the fact that I'm covered in snail trail, a little soap and water will get all that stickiness right off. Well, I'll tell you what, on a day filled with rain, when we didn't think an episode was going to be possible, we have a break in the weather and managed to find the giant African snail.
When it comes to filming animals for the Brave Wilderness channel, it's simple to see why working with giant gastropods makes getting epic shots rather easy. Their slow nature and calm demeanor makes them seem just as friendly as they truly are. If you stumble upon one of these slinking snails in your garden, unfortunately they are likely eating your vegetables, but fear not when it comes to handling them. If you can tolerate their sticky slime, your encounter will be completely harmless, and a little soapy water will wash that slimy snail trail right off.
It is early morning, and it is very similar to the conditions we had the other day when we visited this mechanic's property and unfortunately came across a dead black mamba. We've gotten a call, he has seen another mamba. So we are in fast pursuit to get out to this property as fast as we can so that the snake doesn't either A, kill another dog or get killed itself. Black mambas get a bad reputation as a snake species that will actually chase after you. That is never going to be the case with any animal. They're always going to choose flight before fight. But most importantly, we need to keep ourselves safe because a bite from one of these animals is a medical emergency.
Nothing comes close to the black mamba just due to its size and just the immense speed of these snakes. So yeah, we're gonna try to avoid as much as possible having this human-mamba conflict, especially with the guys' dogs and cats. So we're gonna try to get rid of this mamba and relocate it.
So right now Tyrone is just flipping every piece of flat material that he can find anywhere this time of day that would be perfect for snakes to be hiding. Creepy abandoned building. Nest full of wasps. We're gonna keep moving.
This is probably a needle in a haystack. Look at this. Especially a snake that's grayish black in color. Talk about crazy camo if there was a mamba in here.
Well, get on in there. Let's find that snake. Well, we've been searching for about 25 minutes now. I've not seen any snakes. Seen a lot of other things. And it's usually when you're looking for a snake that you don't find a snake. They always surprise you. Ooh, that is creepy. Oh, it's like a rodent superhighway back there. I don't know if you can see that.
We got a snake!
A snake? Where?
Yeah, we got a snake.
Is it a mamba?
It's a mamba. We got a black mamba. He's just under this little piece of tile.
Snake! Hey, they're yellow snake.
What?
They're yellow snake.
Hey! You got a snake? Is it the mamba?
I think it's a mamba, man.
Really, really, really? Where? Oh man, in here? You saw it?
Yeah, he's under there. He looks like a pretty big mamba.
It is a mamba.
It's definitely a mamba.
Shoot, I hope there's no hole back there. I don't see anything. Yes, I do. I see snake. Definitely see a snake back there. Oh, yes. Yeah. Dude, I think it's a mamba. It's grayish in coloration. All right, mamba madness at its finest right here.
That's a mamba.
That is definitely a mamba. Tyrone, what is the play?
Cool, so we're gonna just move some of the stuff that's sitting on top here. I'm gonna get a tongue on the snake. We're gonna get sort of about 50, 60 centimeters behind the head. And then we're gonna try to get another tongue on the snake just to secure it so the snake starts wiggling around, doesn't put any of us in danger.
Okay.
Yeah, so we're just gonna safely secure the snake, and we're gonna go from there. We're just gonna have to be really agile. These snakes are really unpredictable, super defensive, so we just gotta be on high alert, because this is top tier, the most dangerous snake in the country here.
Okay, this is the worst case scenario because it's pinned into a corner.
Yeah.
The safest scenario for myself, the crew, and certainly the snake is gonna be to get it inside one of these tubes so we have control of the head. All right, I'm here on your command, so you let me know what you need me to do.
Cool, so we're just gonna get on right to it now. We're gonna move some of this shrapnel out the way. Yeah, you can see the big coil of the snakes right coming out the back there. got a big, big mamba.
Oh man, yeah.
Cool, we're going in hot.
You want to lift it? Lift it?
Lift it. Okay, we got a black mamba. Okay, I'm gonna grab it, tongs on the snake. You can see he's puffing up his neck there slightly, it's a little narrow hood. One tongue is secure. We're gonna grab the secondary part of the snake here.
Whoa, whoa, whoa.
Cool, the snake is secure. I'm coming out in the open area here.
Wow.
Cool.
That is a big snake. Okay, so you want me to get the tubes?
Yeah, let's get the tubes, Cody.
Okay, what do you think? Largest tube?
Yeah, let's go with the largest tube. We're just gently restraining the snake. We don't want to put too much pressure on him. Get his head in there. Okay, he's going, he's going. Let him go a little bit more. He's gonna reverse. Okay, do you want to grab it? Are you comfortable grabbing that? Just put him all the way up there. Let me know as soon as you're comfortable.
Yeah, I'm not comfortable yet.
Yeah, I've still got the tongs on it, they're safe.
Okay.
And yeah, I want you to just put that back hand, so like completely holding the tube and that snake, so he's not gonna reverse, because he is gonna pull back.
He is gonna pull back, okay. And you don't think he can get out from there?
No, as long as you've got a good grip on him. Tell me when you're comfortable, I'm gonna release the tongs.
Okay, go ahead and release the tongs. This is a nerve-wracking moment.
Okay, and you remember, he may try reverse, so if he does, just hold him quite in place there.
Okay.
You got him.
Okay. Can I work him up a little bit further?
Yeah, you can work him out a little bit further. Good work.
Oh, my hands are shaking at the moment. Wow, that is a very strong snake. Okay, well, watch your face there, sorry. There we have it. That is a black mamba, safely tubed. Rather intense situation, but that went pretty smoothly.
That's how we do it. We work safely.
I catch my breath for a minute. My heart is racing. Okay, so the snake is staying pretty calm now. Let's go out of this enclosure and get ourselves in a spot that's a little more open. If for any reason I have to drop the snake and it comes out of the tube, we're in really close quarters. So let's slowly move out. You guys move first. I'm gonna take it really, really slow. I got a really good grip. Tyrone, you want to check my grip on the snake? You think that's...
Yeah, we're good there. And let's just angle it a little bit up, just in case he shoots out. You got it. Yeah, you got a good grip. Yeah, just you want to secure the tail there. You're good, Code.
Yeah. Man, this snake is insanely strong. Whoa, man. It is intimidating to hold one of these snakes. Right now, just trying to calm my heart rate. There it is, the notorious black mamba. It's almost tough to put into words what it's like to hold on to a black mamba. This is a species that I have just read about for most of my life, always hoping that I would see one in the wild and not actually be hands-on with one, the most dangerous snake species I have ever physically interacted with. It is definitely a heart-racing encounter. Now, the black mamba, of course, gets its name from the black interior coloration of the mouth. And if I turn it like this and it opens up its mouth, we'll be able to get a really cool shot of that. The reason a bite from this snake is so potentially dangerous is because it is armed with a highly toxic, neurotoxic venom. If you're bitten by this snake, it begins to send your body into paralysis, which shuts down your major organs. So when your lungs, your liver, your kidneys, and ultimately your heart begin to cease working, that's why a bite is so dangerous. Essentially, you just straight up go into paralysis and die. If you were ever bitten by a snake like this, it is an immediate medical emergency. The big issue that we're looking at here today is the human-wildlife conflict. And people are terrified of the black mamba. Obviously, it has a negative reputation, but this is not a snake that is interested in interacting with humans. A dog was bitten. Unfortunately, that dog passed away, and the snake was killed in the process. You have that constantly happening out here, especially in rural areas. But these snakes are not to blame. We are in an area that is perfectly set up for snakes to be hunting for their food. You've got abandoned structures, you've got bags of garbage that has everything that would draw in rodents. Where you have rodents, you're going to have the reptiles that eat them. So the more you can do in your own yard to clean up the trash and make sure that you're not drawing in the prey items for these snakes, the less of your chance of actually seeing one of these snakes and ultimately interacting with it. So the last aspect to today's snake rescue is to actually relocate this snake to a place that's far away from human habitation. That will give the better chances for this snake to live out the length of its life, and of course will keep the dogs and the humans in this area completely safe. Now, is this the resident mamba that we were told about? It's possible, it is pretty sizable, but when you live in an area like this, there's always going to be another snake. So you can see why the work that Tyrone does is so incredibly important here in South Africa. And a big thanks to him for taking us out on this rescue mission. I feel completely fulfilled in that we have finally found one of these snakes that we're able to rescue. It didn't lose its life, and we're doing a good thing for the environment by getting this predator back out to where it belongs.
Okay, we found a pretty cool spot to release the mamba. We are way back off some dirt road, and we have found a beautiful dry riverbed. It is just perfect mamba habitat. Grasses, trees, likely a lot of food. So we're gonna get the snake out, and this is another success story for Tyrone in successfully rescuing and relocating a venomous snake.
Morning light finds its way through the darkness, signaling a new day has arrived in South Africa. If you manage to survive the night, it simply means that the fight to survive against all odds will once again repeat itself. No matter who you are, size doesn't matter. From the small but mighty dung beetle to the king of the savannah, this harsh world, while beautiful, is brutally unforgiving. On this adventure, the crew and I face an incredible challenge as we venture out across the Karika Game Reserve in search of its most iconic animal species, the African elephant.
All right, guys, it's time to head out on a classic elephant adventure. Now, you would think that finding an elephant, something that big, would be simple, but believe it or not, they're really good at hiding into the underbrush. So today I'm gonna be using binoculars, we're gonna be traveling by way of vehicle, and with any luck, we're gonna get a giant tusker up close for the cameras.
Iconically known as the Big Tusker, this massive animal is seldomly seen. Yet our field guide, Joe, is known for her ability to track and find this elusive icon. So with confidence and the Land Cruiser driving us onward, we travel deeper into the bush, looking for signs of this giant.
We got elephant tracks here, guys. Stop, stop.
Oh, yeah.
Wow, look at this.
Wow. That is me standing in the track of an elephant, and not a track that's been wedged down into the ground, but right here you can see an elephant used its trunk to scoop up all this loose soil, and then it would have just thrown it all over its back. And that's what they do. They cover themselves in dust or mud to keep cool in the middle of the day. So I'm standing in a front foot right here. Here's the other foot, another front foot that's massive in circumference. And then back here you've got the two back feet. That is a huge animal.
Do you think it could be our tusker?
Could be the tusker. Look, he probably came right down this track. Check this out. Broken branches. Looks like he went right through this. That's snapped off. Check that out. So he just barreled through the underbrush, right across the road, and it looks like he's headed in that direction. All right, guys, I think now we need to turn the vehicle around, head the other way. We are getting close to finding the elephants. Fresh environmental indicators simply meant that an elephant had recently been in this area. Was it the Big Tusker? Or was it simply another rogue male? Regardless of the answers, it felt as if we were getting close to having an encounter. Elephants have one of the most well-developed senses of smell in the animal kingdom. They are also very in tune with their environments and are capable of detecting low vibrations with their ears, feet, and trunk tips. What this ultimately means is that the animal we are tracking certainly knows well in advance that humans are approaching. And despite boasting an impressive size, this giant can mysteriously disappear like a phantom into the shadowy underbrush without us ever knowing it was there.
Well, this is good news, guys. We've seen some signs now. Tracks and elephant droppings. We're headed up into an open grassland here, and I'm keeping my fingers crossed. I'm hoping that this is where we're gonna find the elephants.
Traveling upward provided us a higher vantage point, and it wasn't long before we found a clearing.
Stop, stop, stop.
Where I could scan the surrounding landscape.
See something?
Yes, I got an elephant. Up there on the ridge. Mario, zoom all the way in at the top crest of that ridge right there. It's almost silhouetted against the sky. 100% that's an elephant, and it looks big.
You think we can get up there?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, guys, hold on. We're headed up the side of that mountain. From this distance, it was impossible to tell whether or not we had set sights on the big tusker. The only certainty was that we had honed in on the location of a giant. The next challenge would be getting close enough to have an encounter.
So right now we're looking for trees moving, or we're listening with our ears to see if we can hear them trumpeting. The male was with another. We don't know if it was a female or a subadult male. Just keep your eyes peeled, guys. We are getting close.
Timing was everything as Joe navigated the rocky roads with hasty precision. A rush of adrenaline coursed through my veins as the crew and I rode in an unusual silence. I can't be certain what it was. I just had this feeling. Something was telling me that we were approaching a moment in time that would forever be held as one of the most unforgettable animal encounters of our lives. This is intense, guys. The bull is right here on the other side of these trees. You can see the trees moving. He might be coming straight for us.
Something right here as well. There's two.
Okay guys, it seems like the elephants are actually going the other way down the hill, so we're gonna try to swing around this cluster of bushes and see if we can get a better shot. We were so close, yet at the same time, equidistant to losing this entire episode. Without an elephant in frame, there would be nothing to share with the world. Then in fearless fashion, Joe took control of our fate as she steered us toward a collision course with the unimaginable.
I see the tusks.
See him?
Yeah.
Yeah. There you go. Coming out.
Come out right there.
We watched in silence, the treetops dancing as something massive crashed through the underbrush. Then, almost as if manifesting from the morning haze, the shape of an elephant began to materialize.
Look at this one coming out, revealing itself. That's incredible. Hi, buddy.
With confidence, the young male approached the vehicle. His display was intimidating, and as a human, I don't think I have ever felt so small. Wow. Looking down the length of his trunk, past those proudly displayed tusks, and into those intelligent eyes, I could see that he was sizing up the situation. A challenging, yet curious demeanor that was in no way aggressive.
We see you. There you go. That's a good boy.
Trust me when I say that my heart has never raced so fast.
Oh, there's another one.
Standing there on the back of that vehicle, I mustered every ounce of courage I had to feel no fear in the presence of this wild elephant.
You stay, big boy.
We looked at each other, eyes locked, neither willing to back down to the other's challenge, despite the fact that this animal could crush the vehicle and all of us if it chose to. Yet in that moment, there was no battle to be had, and instead, we made a warm connection that I never dreamed possible.
There you go, good boy, good boy. Oh, look at this guy. He's sitting down back there.
For as brave as I like to believe I am, this young bull clearly realized that we were nothing but mere humans, and squishing us was certainly not worth the effort. So he decided to tussle with someone his own size.
Look at him, butting heads, tusks intertwined. This is a display of territorial dominance right here.
The following moments seemed to play out in slow motion as these two titans crashed into each other. The ground beneath us shook, the trees swayed, and with the magnitude of elephants, literally elephants, a battle of epic proportions played out before our very eyes. Suddenly, we found ourselves in an incredibly dangerous position as the smaller male decided to use our Land Cruiser as a barrier.
Hey, come on.
When Joe means business,
Hey.
she means business.
Hey.
And as we watched, hearts pounding from our chests, the elephants took their differences and rumbled down into the forest, disappearing out of sight.
Sweet. Right in the middle of an elephant fight, you had the Land Cruiser right in between the two of them. It was interesting. I thought they were going to use the Land Cruiser as a dividing line like they did with the trees earlier, but you have this larger male that's just driving the smaller one back there into the underbrush. That was crazy. Probably going to make a little outtake in the episode, isn't it?
Oh, yeah.
That was intense. That was awesome. Since 1979, African elephants have lost over 50% of their range due to human encroachment. And this, along with poaching for ivory over the decades, has caused the population to greatly decline. Yet tireless conservation efforts by reserves such as Carica have helped to establish strong breeding populations that thankfully have driven the comeback of this beautiful giant. The African elephant is a force of nature, unlike any other. And to witness the magnificence of these animals in the wild is a sight one will never forget. With team morale at an all-time high, we descended back into the valley, thinking our journey had come to its storybook close. Yet much to our splendor, as we rounded a bend in the rocky road, there he was, standing like a mountain in all of his glory, the one and only Big Tusker. The rolling grasslands of South Africa are home to a wide variety of animal species, many of which are considered to be cultural icons, including elephants, giraffes, and lions. In addition to the land-dwelling giants, you will also find species like the hippopotamus that inhabit the various water systems. The hippo is considered to be one of the most dangerous animals in the world. And on this expedition, their possible presence would be an ever-pressing danger as we headed out onto the Bushman's River. This winding waterway was the perfect place for us to search for South Africa's largest lizard, the Nile monitor. As we drifted along, our sights were set on the steep embankments, which served as the perfect basking spot for these semi-aquatic reptiles.
So along this section of the river, you have a lot of dense grass, which could be an okay spot to find the lizards, but they really like to bask out on the rocks. Now, our guy Joe told us that just up around a couple of these bends, you do have some cliff faces. The difficulty with cliff faces is that the lizards may be higher up and tougher to catch, but if we can get them to jump down and into the water, they'll submerge and then come up and start to swim. That would give me the opportunity to actually snare from the front of the boat. Anything's possible today, guys, but trust me, you've got my word. We are going to catch one of these monitors.
Catching one of these speedy and agile lizards would be no easy feat. To catch the Nile monitor, I would need to build a snare, a tactic that has worked successfully in the past on reptiles such as the spiny-tailed iguana and spectacled caiman.
Just about 4 o'clock. The sun's starting to get low in the sky, but it's still warm enough for these lizards to be out basking. They're soaking up the last rays of the sun for today before they hunker down in their burrows for the evening. This is a diurnal species, which means that they're hunting under the light of day.
For several miles, we pressed upriver, yet not a single monitor had been spotted.
Guys, the spot looks perfect, but so far we have not seen any signs of lizards. You do have burrows that are up along the edge of this cliffside here. We see birds flying around, which means there are likely nests, which we know these lizards will feed on. Just a matter of actually locating one of these giant reptiles.
The sun was beginning to get low in the sky. Then just as we were about to turn the boat back toward home, I spotted our reptilian target.
Get the camera set up. Okay, we've got a monitor lizard that is just up on top of this rock. It is basking. It may be asleep. Man, it's a tough call, guys. Do I go for the snare or do I go for the hand catch here? Okay, let's motor in really, really slow.
He is definitely onto us. I don't know if maybe you should go on land.
Let's keep cruising in slow. All right, guys, we've got the lizard just up over my left shoulder here. It has spotted us, but it has not moved yet. The goal here is for me to just glide in as close as we can and try to snare it. If I have to jump out after it, I'm just gonna drop the stick and go. Okay, there we go. Go ahead, cut the motor and get us in right toward the edge. The rope is around the lizard. I've got it. Got it. Got a good hold on him. Hold it still, hold it still. Bring him on board.
Bring him on the boat.
Bringing him up, bringing him up. Hold on, I don't have him under control yet. Okay, up on top of the boat. Hold on, nobody move. All right, I got him by his tail now. Whoa, look out, look out, look out. He's rearing around. Hold on, I'm gonna make for a grab. Here we go, hold on 1 second. Got a good shot. 1, 2, 3, got him. Yes! There you have it, folks. This is a powerful lizard. All right, guys, let's kind of just coast across the side there and get this reptile up close for the cameras. Look at that. A modern day dragon for you right there. Wow, one shot at it and we got our lizard. Man, that is epic. Woo! Okay, I'm gonna be real careful getting off here. All right. Hi, buddy, I see you. Okay. Wow, you can hear that lizard hissing. Okay, what I need to do is get slightly better control of the reptile. I actually want to loosen the snare here quickly. Just kind of get it off of him. Here we go. There we go. Wow. Let me turn it profile for you. Ooh, watch out for the tail, guys. Watch out for the tail. He has still got some incredible fight in him. What I don't want is to take a whip in the face from that tail. They will actually use that as a defense mechanism against any potential predator. Whoa, look at those claws. Okay, I'm gonna let him just latch onto my leg like that. Is that an okay shot for you, Mark?
It's all right, I can make you.
I mean, he's grappled onto me and I don't want to let go of his neck.
Just stay there, that's good.
You can see the foam coming from the lizard's mouth. A lot of bacteria in there. I'm trying to get my hand from.
Do you want me to undo that from your hand?
There we go. Hold on, I want to kind of get the rope off. Actually, Mario, if you could help me out for a second here. I want to make sure that I don't find my fingers in the mouth of the lizard. What I'm gonna do, hold on, just kind of keep him balanced out in front of me like this. There we go. Now I tethered myself to the lizard just in case it got away. That way it wouldn't escape with a rope around its body. Okay. Man, those claws are sharp.
Those are like bear claws.
Whoa, those are sharp. Let me see you here, buddy. There we go. Wow, look at its mouth open there. That is a beautiful reptile. My goodness. Okay. You got the, yeah, there you go. Go ahead, just cut it off. Okay. Just kind of feed that string out. Ow, 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 ow. Claws, claws, claws. Man, what an incredible dragon. Look at that. Okay, now I've got control, or at least I think, of the lizard. Mario, I'll give you a second to reposition yourself in the scene. Ladies and gentlemen, let me introduce you to the Nile monitor. My goodness, what a gorgeous reptile. And that's pretty decent size. Now they do get bigger. They can reach lengths of 6 feet, but this is a formidable beast, an opportunistic predator, primarily carnivorous, and they'll also scavenge on dead bodies of animal carcasses that are floating down the river system. Now, what makes these monitors specifically unique is that they're adapted for living in an aquatic environment. Look at the tail of this creature. It's flat, almost like a propeller or a rudder, and that helps them to propel their bodies through the water. Now, let's take a look at the face of this reptile. As we know, dinosaurs evolved for the most part into birds, but when you zoom in and you look at that face, you can see just how this resembles the face of a velociraptor. What's really unique about this monitor species is that the nostrils are positioned high up on the skull. That allows them to keep just their eyes and their nose above the water when they're swimming. Wow, it's looking right at me right now with incredible intelligence. Now, the monitor lizard is one of the smartest reptile species in the world. So smart, in fact, that they can be considered problem solving. And right now, this lizard's probably thinking to himself, how did I manage to get myself caught by Coyote Peterson and the brave wilderness team? But trust me, guys, this adventure was worth it because this is the one reptile I had hoped that we would get up close for the cameras here in South Africa. Look at all of the muscle in this lizard's hindquarters. Let me hold it upright like that. Can you see that? And the hands are like bear paws. Look at how they're just grappled onto my arm right now. You'll notice they have enormous claws. They're excellent diggers, and they will dig through the substrate, oftentimes searching for eggs. Now, in an area where you have Nile crocodiles, they will actually move in and wipe out an entire clutch of eggs in a single sitting. Let's look at the scale structure of this reptile. As I run my hand down the length of its back and over its tail,
it feels exactly like I would imagine a dinosaur to feel. Now, of course, as we know, if some dinosaurs had feathers, they would be a lot fluffier. But in this instance, trust me guys, it feels as if I am holding onto something that is 65 million years old. Actually, monitor lizards date back over 100 million years in the fossil record. Imagine something that looks just like this, only 10 times this size, roaming the countryside here in South Africa during the days of the dinosaurs. That would be intimidating.
So Coyote, that was interesting. You went for the snare. You
Yes.
weren't really sure what you were gonna do.
Well, considering the fact I really wanted to catch one of these, barehanded, knowing that it was positioned up on that embankment and I had clear space to get the snare close to its head, I figured that was the right play. Oftentimes, lizards are really curious if you dangle a string out in front of them. It doesn't look that threatening. The lizard actually raised its head up in the air, allowed me to get the snare right over top of it. I actually let the lizard move through the snare a little bit before I cinched it down, and then I had it right around its front legs and its midsection. The perfect spot to snare a reptile like this. Oh, claws going into my fingers. Man, he's got a hold of me. Hi, buddy. Look at you. I am so excited right now. And it's tough positioning here on the embankment of this river. Tough to hold on to the lizard and keep myself in position, but let me get it back like this. There we go. Well, guys, it was a long, arduous search up the river, but we finally came across the elusive Nile monitor.
Over the past year, this has become the third species of monitor lizard that we have featured on the Brave Wilderness channel. And I think it's easy to see why. I have become fascinated with these predatory reptiles. Their speed and cunning agility make them incredibly difficult to catch. Their razor-sharp teeth and dinosaur-like claws make them dangerous to interact with. And when you combine all of that with their high level of intelligence, you can begin to understand why these incredible lizards pose quite the challenge to safely present in front of the cameras.
All right, guys, the most difficult part about catching a monitor is then in turn releasing the monitor. Okay, I'm gonna gently lay down here and hopefully it's going to spring off into the water. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. Woo! The good news is, I still have all of my fingers. Yes!
Worldwide, there are more than 150 chameleon species, and Africa is home to 19 of them. During daylight hours, these arboreal lizards can be very difficult to locate, but at night, when they are fast asleep and dreaming of their next grasshopper snack, the advantage goes to anyone with a good flashlight and a keen eye for reptiles. And if you like long, sticky tongues, then this is the episode for you.
So what's perfect about this here is we can stay out of the tall grasses and look all along this dense underbrush. Now, we know there are chameleons in this area. It's just a matter of finding them. Okay, so what's cool about this spot right here is you've got a combination of two things within the sand forest. All of these long, slender grasses are going to be very important when it comes to finding baby chameleons. And this sand right here, you can see is very, very fine. Now, we've had a lot of rains that have moved through recently. Those rains will help instigate the hatching of baby chameleons. We're right hot in the middle of hatching season. The females will lay their eggs in this really, really soft sand, and as they begin to hatch out, they come out and they're very susceptible to predators. So they're always thinking, let me get higher up. And what they will do at night is climb up to the tippy tops of these grass stalks and hang there, assuming that absolutely nothing can get them. And in most cases, they're right, but when it comes to finding them and getting them in front of the cameras, that's gonna be to our advantage because they should stand out like little glowing grapes on the tips of these grasses. So let's keep moving and see if we can find some. Oh, here we go. Hot diggity dog, look who we've got here. That is an absolutely teeny tiny chameleon. Now, the tactic here is to actually snip the little piece of grass that it is sleeping on. That has got to be the teeny tiniest, most adorable lizard I have ever seen.
You, my little friend, are an absolute superstar. Now, if you look at the tail, you can see its prehensile nature wrapped around that grass stalk, and then those little oven mitt-like feet gripping and holding the body in place. Now for us, spotting this chameleon was rather simple because we knew what to look for. But for any predator, it just looks like this lizard is a part of the environment. All right, buddy, I'm gonna gently kind of wedge you into another grass stalk so that we don't disturb the rest of your evening. Get you balanced there, and you'll be good to go. Now that we found a baby chameleon, the bigger ones are likely gonna be higher up. So investigating tree limbs and hidden within especially leaves like this is a perfect spot for you. Oh, we got a snake. Mari, is this a vine snake?
That is a twig snake.
Oh, that's a twig snake.
Holy smokes, that's a super toxic snake.
Okay. Wow, look at the camouflage of this animal. Looks completely like a vine, perfectly interwound around this branch, down into here, in complete stealth mode.
Something sizable that it ate recently.
Yeah, can you see that from there?
Yeah, I mean, could very well be a chameleon.
This is a super cool find. I need to be extremely careful because, like Mario said, this is a very venomous species. We'll talk about that in a second. Let me just focus to see if I can gently get it out of the tree here. I'm going to be very gentle about this. Got it. Okay. Let me just set it down gently here for a second. See if I can get it to stay positioned on the end of the snake hook. Look at that. Wow. All right, I'm going to actually bring this back just a touch. I don't want to put any pressure on that spot where it's actually got something in its belly. Wow, look at the triangular shape of the head. Looks almost like the tip of a spear. Now, the twig snake specifically is extremely venomous. It is a rear-fanged snake, and the dangerous aspect of this venom is it is highly hemotoxic, and there is no anti-venom. If you were bitten by this snake, it is a very slow, very internally bloody death. You basically hemorrhage on the inside, and blood will eventually start leaking out of your different orifices, which is kind of a horror situation, but they're rather chill snakes. As you can see, it's just completely calm at the moment. Now, this is a diurnal species, so normally hunting during the day, it'd be pretty easy for them to target chameleons, especially early in the morning or later in the evening, crepuscular creature that's definitely hunting in those cooler temperatures. So slender, so unassuming looking, yet so incredibly toxic. Well, when we're looking for chameleons, spotting one of their top predators is definitely a cool thing to add to this episode. All right, we're just gonna gently place this snake back up in the tree so it can continue digesting its meal and having a good night's sleep. Hopefully you didn't eat all the chameleons. Look at these guys right in here. Probably from a different clutch because you can see how much bigger they are. Ooh, this is inviting. Check this out. Small portal. These are actually cut in the roadways for water drainage. And it really opens up back here. Oh yeah, look at this. Oh, right there. Yes, big chameleon. Okay, I'm gonna move in and try to get that piece of the vine down so we can take a closer look. You guys good? We're gonna hang out for just a second if that's cool. Okay, so I got this piece of vine. I can go for it. That's exactly where we want you to go. All right. Sometimes it just takes a little bit of coaxing. Okay. We are in business. That is the flat-necked chameleon. It appears to be a female, and the way I can tell that is that the males have a big bulge at the back near their vent, and that's how you know that it's male chameleon parts. There are 4 specific things I would love to look at with this lizard: tail, feet, eyes, and that tongue. You can see the prehensile nature of this tail wrapped around the edge of this vine works perfectly to help keep the animal balanced up in the treetops. And they can completely hang on with that tail if they need to stretch out when they're going after a prey item. Now, as you move up the tail and you look at the feet, look at how they are grappled onto that vine. They are called
zygodactylus. That's the name for these feet, which basically means 2 toes in the front, 2 toes in the back. They look just like little oven mitts. And if you look real closely, you can see that they have very, very sharp claws. And chameleons are capable of using their feet and their tail to help them move pretty much effortlessly through the treetops. As we all know, this is an arboreal species. And when it comes to camouflage, you really can't top that green coloration. Now, if a chameleon is stretched out on a branch like this, it's gonna completely look like a leaf. That not only helps keep it hidden from predators, but it keeps it camouflaged as it's slowly slinking up on a potential prey item. When it comes to seeing its prey, the coolest thing about a chameleon's eyes are their ability to move 180 degrees in either direction, which essentially gives this reptile the ability to see 360 degrees within its environment. And what they will do is use one eye, monocular vision, to hone in on a potential prey item. Then they will refocus the other eye, giving them laser-type focus so that they can hone in and use that ballistic tongue to catch their prey. That tongue is one of the most unique aspects of this reptile, and they have specialized muscles that will allow their tongue to shoot out of their mouth. That tongue can be 2 times the length of the body. The saliva that's on that tongue basically engulfs the prey item and then sucks it back into its mouth, where it has some pretty sharp teeth and some rather powerful jaws considering its size. Contrary to popular belief, chameleons cannot just shift to any color. You place this chameleon on my purple shirt, it's not gonna turn purple. Their color changes based on mood and environment. When it comes to being camouflaged, obviously different shades of green and brown work perfectly. And when it comes to stress, a darker coloration will tell you that this lizard is feeling uncomfortable. That's why we're keeping it on the edge of this branch as compared to handling it. They're a very fragile species. You don't want to bruise the body, and the more calm we can keep the lizard, the better it's ultimately going to be. My day officially begins. 24 hours in the life of an APU, anti-poaching unit ranger, begins right now. I'm meeting up with Mike Veal and some of his experts.
Keep moving, come on Coyote, mediocre.
They're going to put me through the first rounds of base camp. We're talking literally a sliver of what these rangers go through. I have a feeling that I'm going to be in for some pretty brutal training today. I'm really excited to go through this training. The anti-poaching unit is front lines of defense against poachers, saving so many different animals on a daily, weekly, monthly basis. Here we go, we're pulling up on the obstacle course.
Morning.
Mike,
Welcome
good to see you.
Good to see you.
What's up?
You'll earn that.
Can I see how this is gonna go?
All right, welcome to the obstacle course. This is how we're gonna start your formal training as a ranger.
Okay.
Everybody has to go through this to accomplish the goal of getting into the field.
Okay.
Let's swap hats so we can get you started and ready.
Okay. Cowboy hat coming off. This is cool.
I'm gonna introduce you to lead instructor.
I can tell he already likes me.
All right, welcome to the obstacle course.
Okay.
You will complete each and every obstacle. If I see you walking, you will repeat the obstacle. If you do not complete the obstacle correctly, you will redo the obstacle. Do you understand?
Yes.
All right, I don't like to talk a lot. Let's go.
Okay. Just hopping right into it.
Yep, let's
okay.
go.
We're going.
Well, he's just here to push me along, or?
You talk too much. Let's go.
Okay.
And go. Come on, move it. Come on. Look that hand over. Go low. Come on, that's it. Run. Down, under. Over. Over. Time is running. Yep, let's go, come on, let's go. Balance beat, let's go. And go back. Come on. Move back. Not a walking exercise.
Let's go. No hesitation, straight in. No hesitation, straight in. Go. Go, move it. Come on, push progression. Let's go. Come on.
walking. Redo this.
You lose your grip, you go again.
Let it grow. On your stomach.
Go. Keep your head down. Come on, run. Up, over,
Let's
and
go.
around.
Dig deep. We're going there. Let's go. Dig deep.
Run.
Let's go.
Let's go. Up. Come on.
Let's work, Coyote. Let's work.
Come on, this is not a face pulling exercise.
Hey.
Get down. Let's go. Run. Let's go. Come on, put some speed on it. Put some speed on it. Let's go.
Straight in.
Come on.
Straight in. No hesitation.
Let's go. No walking. Come on, this is not a cool down section. Let's move. Come on.
It's slippery.
Come on, Grandma. Walk a lot. Come on. Let's go. Up. I said no walking. I'll make you redo it. Up here. Hey, concentrate. Keep your head straight. Come on. This is not a standing around exercise. Come on.
Let's go. Keep moving.
It's a mediocre effort.
Pick it up. There we go. Pick it up. You got a lot left in the
Not
tank.
impressed at this moment.
Let's go. Let's pick it up.
Get down. Run.
Under.
Come on, go under.
Let's push. Come on.
Jump over. Go under. Jump over. Go under. Let's go.
Come on. Two friends.
That's walking. Yeah. Come back here. That's walking. Let's go. I don't have time for this walking. You gotta jump. Get down. Do it again.
Go, Coyote. Push it.
Come on. That's it. Running. Good. Come on, catch it. Come on, Coyote. Come on. You gotta prove this to yourself now. Come on. Come on, Coyote. Come on, put some effort into it.
Go, good man. Make it work. Let's go.
Your mental strength.
Yes, there we go. Now you're working. You wait until the end before you start working. Let's go. Good man.
And time.
Holy crap.
Why are you lying around? Get up.
Hold on.
What do you think this is?
Time.
No holding on.
On your
Come
feet.
on, trainee.
On your feet.
Get up. Get up. Stand up. How do you feel?
That'd be the hardest thing I've ever done. Holy cow.
You want to know your time?
Sure.
4 minutes, 44 seconds.
Really?
Yes.
Is that decent?
No.
Good news is we're gonna pass you to the next level for the next set of the course training.
Okay.
Here is your ranger shirt.
Oh, man. Thank you. Awesome. That's an honor right there. Can I lay down and go to sleep with this?
Can't sleep in that, but you'll wear it on duty and during the rest of your training.
I think I'm gonna puke. Woo! Can't even begin to tell you guys how unbelievably difficult that was. I would love to go on American Ninja Warrior. I think I got some training to do. For as much as I might be crying right now, these rangers go through this almost daily. It takes a massive amount of endurance, mentally and physically, to be strong enough to be an AP ranger.
Beyond the obstacle course, which was honestly one of the most physically demanding challenges I have ever been through, I spent an additional 14 hours training under the guidance of Global Conservation Force President Mike Veal. And I got a taste for what it takes to become a frontline ranger. Throughout the day, we spent hours in the scorching sun, surveying reserve perimeter fence lines. I learned about field tracking, snare identification and dismantling, and finally, the art of camouflage.
People always ask, does Coyote Peterson wear makeup on camera? Today I do.
In what seemed like the longest hour of my life, as I was transformed into a shrub and made to lay completely motionless amongst tick-infested underbrush for an entire hour. Trust me, it was brutal. So from a perspective like this, what a ranger will do is have great observation of the environment. So with a pair of binoculars or night vision goggles, you can see anything moving off in the distance here. Hunker down for the night. Hopefully nothing unnatural passes by. And if it does, then you spring into action, boom. Just like that, the team is in place. So like I said, becoming an APU certified ranger is difficult, and it definitely takes more than 14 hours. But those who complete and pass the course carry with them an honor of the highest regard and are celebrated as warriors who defend our planet's wild places and animal species. Over the years, I have had the chance to work with many adorable baby animals, but none of them were built like a tank. Today I'm visiting the Zululand Conservation Trust's Rhino Orphanage, and for the past year, they have been tending to the needs of a little orphan rhino named Leko. Leko arrived at the orphanage several days after being born. Malnourished and grossly underweight, he was extracted from the wild because his mother had an infected abscess on her udder, which made it impossible for him to properly feed. The milk distributed from a cow to her calf is crucial. It contains a fluid known as colostrum, which has rich levels of antibodies necessary to promote growth and health in newborn mammals. So in the wild, without it, Leko would have certainly died.
Oh, smells good. This is not baby rhino milk powder, it is horse.
Millions of years ago, rhinos and horses shared a common ancestor, and today they're both classified under the order Perissodactyla.
That goes on top, and now it's time to feed Leko. Oh. Yeah, there you go. That is some serious chugging power right there. Now, at any point, do I want to give Leko a little bit of a break, or is it just, uh-oh, Dorothy? That's Dorothy, Leko's friend. I know I didn't make any milk for you, I'm sorry. Almost there, almost there. And that's it. You drink it all. Coyote's special blend, consumed in just a matter of seconds. And now we go to pellets?
Yeah.
Hand feeding?
Yeah.
So do I just kind of put it flat like I was feeding a horse?
Put your hand inside.
Oh.
They don't have teeth in the front.
Yeah, just those big squishy lips.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, here we go. We're going hand into a rhino lip. There we go. Get my hand all the way up in here. Okay. Oh, their lips are so squishy and very slobbery. I'll be sure to use my hand sanitizer after this, okay? Nom, 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 nom. That is a handful of baby rhino slime.
At the orphanage, Leko was placed under the constant care of Simone, where he was fed milk every 2 hours, while plasma drip helped strengthen his immune system. Eventually, this skinny little rhino began to show signs of improvement as his weight increased and he gained noticeable strength to add to his very rambunctious personality.
He's been in my care at the facility since he was day one.
Wow.
1 day old, yeah. So we have a very strong bond. That's really special for me. Didn't actually realize how a rhino could bond with a human so closely, and yeah, it's incredible. Yeah.
White rhinos are quite gregarious, so once he was healthy enough, Leko was provided a companion, an athletic, all-attitude, take no funny business from any one goat named Dorothy. They were besties at first sight, and since that day, they have been inseparable. After a nutritious breakfast, it was time for some exercise. And you never know what's going to happen when you enter the paddock of an 800-pound baby who has no concept of his own strength.
This is part of daily enrichment right here. Being out in the exercise boma. He's got a little tail wag going. Careful, careful. Don't let him put his head up in the air.
I see you, buddy. I see you.
How many months old is Leko?
He's 10 months old.
10 months old. At even 10 months, you can see he is an absolute powerhouse. Solid muscle. Watch out for that horn. Little treats.
It's just like, I'm
He's
not
so
scared of him, but it's like you don't know what he's gonna do.
He is rather intimidating even at this size. All he needs to do is swing his head once in the wrong direction. If he catches your knee, leg broken. So he's just doesn't know his own strength at this size. He's a very, very powerful animal. So we gotta be extra careful. Uh-oh, Mario's stuck in the corner. Or is it electric fence?
I didn't know if it was electric or not.
Oh.
That's why I was freaking out.
Outside one.
Got cornered by a rhino, you know, just every morning routine, you know.
Come on, Leko. Let's see. I'm gonna come right here. Yeah. Good morning. Don't eat the whole thing. Here, I'll get some out. There we go. Okay. Watch your camera. Here. Oh, buddy, you feel just like an old baseball mitt. I know. Chin scratch? Okay. Yeah, chin scratch. Let's see. That's good. You can see all the hoof marks on him from Dorothy. I didn't know what those scrapes were initially until I saw her jump up on him. That is so funny. Yes, you're eating my knee. See, very strong lips.
What's up, goatee?
Look at that.
The Zululand Rhino Orphanage takes in young animals whose parents have either become victims of poaching or, like in Leko's case, were unable to properly care for them. Leko will not be the last animal to thrive under the supervision of this orphanage. And like those before him, he will eventually be released back into the wild to carry on the future of rhinos as another survivor's success story. All right, well, there you have it. We got the chance to feed, hang out, and definitely romp around with a baby rhino. I'm Coyote Peterson. Be brave, stay wild. We'll see you on the next adventure. And that's a perfect way to wrap it up.